King Ray Ray in this bitch. Ha!
One of my Patreon subscribers asked me, what is the first thing a man must do in order to develop a moral compass by which he governs himself, his actions, his thoughts, his ideas? And I thought about it for a minute, and I came to the realization that the bottom line is this. We as men must understand that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what we should do and what we shouldn't do. We already know right from wrong. Every man knows when he's doing something that he shouldn't be doing. Every man knows when he's doing something that does need to be done because of the energy that that decision or that action creates in his life. You see, when you're a man and you're in a situation, in a relationship, and you've told a woman it's just going to be you and her, you've sworn monogamy to her, you tip around and do the things you're doing with other women out of sight because you know that the things you're doing are wrong simply because you said, as a man of your word, you said you wouldn't do those things. The bottom line is this. The first principle of developing a moral compass in your life is to be a man of your word. If you say you're going to do it, do it. If you know you're not going to do it, don't say you're going to do it. See, many men say, well, you said you're going to do something and you have every intention on doing it. We're not talking about what your intentions are. We're talking about you knowing yourself as a man. What is it that you can or cannot do? You know it better than anyone. Now, the bottom line is this. As we look back on our lives and understand that our decisions are the primary culprit in any situation that we dealt with in our lives, any circumstances and conditions that we had to encounter were based on the decision that we made, at least in our adult lives. So how do you make sure that you make the decisions that are not just best for you, but the decisions that are right? And I've heard people say, well, you know, what's right is subjective. No, the hell it's not. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. If you lie to someone about needing some money for something and you know you don't need it for that, you're lying. You're wrong. You're taking advantage of someone. If you present yourself to someone as something you're not, you're wrong. You're lying. You're being deceitful. It's kind of like a woman who uses filters on her pictures online. Her social media pictures look wonderful. You see her in person, she's 80 pounds heavier than she looks in the photos because she's using camera tricks, angles, and she's editing the photos. Now, is that woman wrong? When you meet her, is she wrong? What about the woman? And we always see these memes where the woman looks like something that's not even human. But then when she adds the makeup, the face paint, when she gets her face beat, as they say, she looks gorgeous. Totally different woman. I mean, it looks amazing. You cannot believe the transformation. Is that woman wrong? Of course. See, as a man, you cannot look out at the rest of the world and know what's wrong and then pretend not to know what's wrong in your own life. You know the things you should be doing. You know the principles you should be standing on. You just have to accept that. And you have to understand that it is a major undertaking to be in a society where doing the wrong thing is so easy to do the right thing. It is quite the tedious task to stand on principle in every single situation in your life 100% of the time. So accept the fact that you're not going to do it 100% of the time. There are certain circumstances and situations that you're going to find yourself in, and you're going to do the wrong thing. But the thing is, you already know those circumstances and situations. So the best thing you can do is keep yourself out of harm's way. Keep yourself out of those circumstances and conditions that you know are going to push you to the wrong side. We know what those things are. Me, I know it's a sin, man, to be with married women, but I have a history of being with married women and women in relationships throughout my life. And I am doing everything in my power to avoid those scenarios now. Like at the very moment I understand a woman is married, I'm out. That's another reason why I'm not so quick to hop into bed with a woman when I initially meet her. No woman can give me a one night stand, because that woman who's giving me a one night stand could possibly be someone else's wife. And am I going to look at the Most High and say, well, she lied to me? She told me she was single, or we didn't even discuss that. I didn't know she was married. Hey, man, you're a man. It's your job to find out these things. Why is it that men always want credit for when something goes right, but when something goes wrong, they always want to shift the blame to women? That is a very beta mindset to have, man. You have to be responsible for your own actions, for your own decisions, for your own thoughts and ideas. That is the number one step in being, well, I've said everything is the number one step so far, but all of these things are imperative to you becoming a man who is guided by a high morality. What you have to understand, if I had to sum this all up in one step, the first thing you need to do is accept that you are responsible for your circumstances and conditions, because you are responsible for your decisions. No one owes you any sympathy for putting yourself in a situation based on your own decisions. If you've been blowing money all your life and now financially you're not in the situation you want to be in, nobody's going to give you any sympathy. There are other men who had the opportunities to do the same things you did and blow money and waste opportunities, but they didn't. You don't hear them asking for any credit or any props because they didn't. No, they're just living their lives. You have to understand that you are responsible for your life. And if you live your life in a way that is not pleasing to the Most High, then whatever happens to you, happens to you. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, and I won't get into this in the detail right now, but when I speak about your relationship with the Most High, I'm speaking about black men. No other race of men has to have the same relationship with the Most High in order to, achieve things the right way. So when I say that you must have a high moral compass, you must develop a relationship with the Most High. No man can govern himself. That is why the Most High created the laws. You are not righteous enough. You're not righteous at all without the spiritual influence of the Most High. So you must put yourself in a position where you're exposed to the Most High, but exposed to the Most High in the right way. You cannot go an avenue that leads you to the Most High where a woman is your guide, because no woman can lead you to the Most High. An experience with a woman can turn you to the Most High, believe that. But a woman herself being your guide to the Most High, she cannot do it. And in closing, one final thought that I like to give is that you cannot develop a high morality in church. Church does not give you the spiritual foundation to develop a high morality. You will not have a high moral compass, a strong moral compass, if you try to get it from church. If that was the case, would women be in the situation they're in? Would we be dealing with all of the lies and deceit and all of the games that women play now if church was that place? You know what I'm saying? The majority of the women that I was with in my past, when I was dealing with married women, all of them were church girls. Church girls are the absolute most deceptive women. I'll put it like that. They're the absolute most deceptive women of all time, but not because they're intentionally deceptive. It is because of our outlook as men on what quality they possess because they go to church. You understand what I'm saying? A woman being a church girl is absolutely insignificant when it comes to her quality to you in a relationship. So you must understand that where women go to find God in their minds, you can't go to that same place because God isn't there. He is not going to be in a place where a bunch of women hang out. So to sum this all up, understand that you are responsible for your own decisions. Also understand that you know right from wrong. So to sit here and act like you don't and act like it's this major thing for you to try to figure out what's right from wrong. Nah, man, your ass know what's right from wrong. Nobody even had to tell you. There's a spiritual feel. There's a spiritual energy about what's right from wrong. When you hear a man who lives his life a certain way, You can hear him preface the things he does and the things he says when he's about to talk about it. He always prefaces with, like, this isn't for, this ain't no church, this ain't no religious site, or this ain't no religious speech and then like that. I'm not a preacher or anything like that. They always, because men know when they are not living a life that represents a high moral fiber. And you know the same. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. Shout out again to the homie Jonathan, man, for the question. Great question. Everyone else, man, I appreciate all the Patreon questions. I appreciate all the Patreon subscribers, man. I'm going to do a show here pretty soon, man, shouting out my Patreon subscribers. Or, I'll figure out another way, man, to let the world know, man, how much I appreciate you, man, for, supporting the way you do. And I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.